no rock, not even a hole through the cover. Had she imagined it? Agatha hesitated before grabbing the fairy tale tome. A shiver went through her as she cracked it open to see if there'd been any damage. She found the grape-sized rock nestled in the heart of the book, sparkling faintly. As she watched, it literally sucked the words from the page, the texting sliding into the stone, leaving the paper blank, which in turn increased the twinkling. What kind of sorcery was this? With a gasp, Agatha dropped the book back on the table, atop the brighter cover of the newer version. The jolt didn't stop the growth of light. It became big enough that the cover began to lift, revealing a fist-sized sphere of brilliance. As fear replaced wonder, Agatha backed away, but it was already too late. When the glowing ball exploded, the shockwave knocked her down. It took a moment to recover her wits and rise, only to realize something about her had changed. She later discovered it wasn't just her. The entire world had been affected. Fairy tales began coming to life, cursing people to live out many of those terrible tales, made especially bad because these stories, written for a different time, clashed with the modern world. Eventually, it became known as the Grimm Effect, and with it, a new era began, one of good and evil, magic and mayhem, happily ever afters, and tragedy. Chapter 1. The frog spat water, a big squirt that hit my leather jacket and dripped harmlessly, but still annoyed. I gritted my teeth. "Look here, you little green puke. You cannot stay in this fountain." "Croak," the frog disagreed. "We've had too many complaints. Like literally a dozen this morning alone about this amphibious jerk harassing all the women walking by, flicking his tongue at them, getting between their feet to peek up their skirts." "Ribbit." "I don't care if you're cursed. You cannot try and tongue kiss everyone to try to reverse it. Besides, it won't work." Despite decades of living with the Grimm Effect, some folks still hadn't read the original stories, which were more horror than fairy tale. "Come here, right this instant." I used my sternest voice and pointed to the fountain ledge. Rather than obey, the frog chose to leap away from me, sproing, sproing, right in front of a car. Apparently, he'd not played Frogger before his transformation, because he didn't manage to avoid the sedan speeding past. Splat. The frog got flattened, literally squished into a puddle of green goo, which then expanded and expanded until a man lay naked on the pavement, groaning.
"Oh, I think I'm broken."
I headed for him and planted my hands on my hips as I huffed. "Next time, read a damned book. The frog wasn't cured by a kiss, but by the princess getting peeved and tossing his ass against a wall."
"I need a doctor,"
he complained. "And pants." Transformation spells were the worst when broken, as the person returned disoriented and naked. I put a call into dispatch. "Frog problem resolved, but the Grimfer," the name given to a person caught up in the Grimm Effect, "requires medical assistance." "On it," stated Darren, our guy manning the office phone line.
"What's going to happen to me?"
whined the guy lying on the pavement. "Nothing. Lucky for you, while annoying, you didn't harm anyone during the course of the curse, and now that it's broken, you can go back to your life. That is, once you get those bones set and do some rehab."
"But what about my princess? I was supposed to get a princess."
He had the nerve to pout. "Only the prince gets a princess in the book, and you, sir, are no prince." With that, I left. Another mission accomplished. Although I would admit to being miffed that I didn't get to smack the frog myself. He tried to lick me on the lips with that nasty tongue of his when I'd first arrived. Almost lost it in the process. More annoying, this was the third frog I dealt with in the last month. I really hoped a true frog prince would find his damned princess and put that particular fairy tale curse to bed, because that really was the only way to stop the cycle for a bit. See, since the Grimm Effect, also known as Fairytale Apocalypse and the Grim Fuckaroo, through some kind of magic science...